Welcome to our first podcast. We have yet to make a name yet, so if you have any ideas for us, tweet at us, comment.
Let us know.
Yeah, so I'm Ariana Kanaya. I'm a senior at Lake Central, class of 19, been going here since my freshman year.
Committed. I'm Grace Benkowski. I'm a junior, class of 2020 vision. I don't really know.
So we don't have a name. And like we didn't have a name, we didn't have an idea of what this podcast was going to be. So we put a bunch of stuff in a hat, a bunch of topic ideas, and we pulled one and we got social media. So for the next 30 minutes, we're going to be chatting it up about social media.
About all the platforms. You got Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. I don't really use Facebook that much.
Don't forget about Pinterest. Pinterest is very important.
Pinterest is one of my favorites, honestly.
Honestly, I have lately, I've been preferring Pinterest to Instagram. And I'll get into why later.
Yeah, no, exactly. I've been doing the same thing.
Okay, so let's start off. What social medias do you have, Grace?
Oh, wait. Social media accounts that I have a Twitter account, I have a Snapchat account, Instagram account. I actually have a few Instagram accounts. I also do have a Pinterest account and a Visco account, but that's where I'm topped at.
Okay, you said you have a few Instagram accounts. Yeah. What do you mean by that?
Okay, so in our social media culture, a lot of people do tend to show their best selves on what people would call their Rinstas, or their real Instagrams, their personal Instagrams. And I have one of those, and I also have a Finsta, which is basically kind of like a fake Insta, but it's really just kind of the more laid back, casual side, I guess. A lot of kids in high school do have it, and I know a lot of other people do, just as a kind of way to reach out to your audience without having to go through your real Instagram. But I'm confused as to why there is such thing as a Rinsta and a Finsta. Shouldn't you just be real all the time?
Yes. Yes, you should. I feel like this is something that we're going to get real into. Okay, so I personally do not have a Finsta. That is something that I've not felt compelled to do. It is not something I've wanted to do. I feel some sort of way about it. We can get more into that later. But I have an Instagram. I have a Snapchat. Do you have a private Snapchat?
Yeah, I do have a private Snapchat. Do you?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I don't have a private Snapchat. No. Wait. We're talking about the stories, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't have one.
Okay.
I just, if I want to send something to multiple people, I'll just send it to those people.
I got you.
Yeah. So I only have one Snapchat, I have one Instagram, I have a Facebook, but I don't, I know some of our peers post on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really do that. I got a Facebook because for NSHSS, I had to.
Yeah.
And then as I've been, an intern and stuff, I've needed to know how to use Facebook, but I don't really like it. I think there's also a stigma around Facebook. Also, Facebook got in some hot water recently. Yeah. So, she's not doing well. Yesterday, I don't know if something happened yesterday, but yesterday, January 14th, I was, Googling Facebook because I needed to log in.
Yeah.
And, I saw that the stock prices were down.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know if she's hurting. I have a Pinterest. I have 2 YouTube channels.
Oh, I forgot about YouTube.
How many YouTube channels do you have?
I have 2 YouTube channels.
Oh, you have 2 YouTube channels? How do I not know this about you?
I mean, do I post on them per se? Not really. But do I watch on them? Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I do. Do you watch different stuff on your 2 YouTube channels?
Yeah, actually.
I do too.
I don't know. When I'm in my school one, I'm usually looking up things for school anyway. So, a lot of, crash courses or, stuff like that comes up. But when I'm on my personal, I watch, some of my favorite YouTubers and just, random videos like that, DIY stuff.
Nice. I have a Twitter, but I'm old, and I'm not smart. I don't know. Twitter confused me for a while, and then I needed to get the club updates for school, so I got a Twitter. I don't really post on it. I do sometimes. I don't know. I don't care for the layout, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't post that much on it. And then I'm gonna have a SoundCloud by the end of this podcast. I'm looking right now to see, those, I have a Spotify.
True, I have one of those too, and I feel like Spotify is now considered kind of like a social media because you can, like, see what your friends are listening to.
Yeah, and you can, like, share stuff. Like, I've been meaning to share a playlist with you because I want you to add to it.
Ooh. To be continued.
Yeah. But yeah, do you just want to dive in with Finstas? Like,
oh, yeah, I will say, I feel like this became a trend in about, like, 2017 maybe, late 2017.
Yeah, it's definitely a new thing.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I would say kind of just blossomed. I don't know how. I just remember that all my friends were doing it, so I was like, oh my god, well, I want to do it too, because that's like a platform I guess we can all like connect on other than our real Instagrams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. I was actually super late to the trend because people were like, she posted on her Finsta, he posted on his Finsta, and I was like, what is Finsta? Like, is this a fitness app? Like, I'm kind of confused.
Yeah.
And then people tried explaining to me as, like, fake Instagram, and I was like, did someone make, a new app? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I get where you're coming from, and I also agree with your earlier point of, like, clearly there was a market and a need for people to want to be quote-unquote real on Instagram. So why don't we just have that be our real Instagram?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why do we... Like, we all know that Sally, Joe, and Mike all have a Finsta. So why don't they just show that real them on their Instagram? Because now it's kind of insinuating that your Instagram is filled with fake stuff.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
You know?
I've been thinking about this a lot, actually, because it seems like more and more people are making Finstas and people are deleting their Finstas. And so I'm trying to come and make the connection, like, I feel like Finstas are just getting so much popular because of, like, the audience. Because, like, not a lot of outside people tend to follow someone's Finsta unless they know them really well or they've gone to school with them, like, stuff like that. So I think, like, at least I know I do, like, use my Finsta as, like, an outlet to reach out to them. Or, like, a lot of people do it to, like, ask for tips and advice and stuff. Like, especially with scheduling coming around the corner, a lot of kids were like, hey, can you help me? Like, do you think I should take this class over this class? Or what should I do instead of a study hall? And stuff like that. So I think that maybe if we were to, like, reach out to people so much on our quote-unquote real Instagrams, it's because, like, the audience isn't the same. And I feel like that comes down to, like, the whole followers and, like, the analytics with Instagram and stuff. But do you have any thoughts about that? Like,
I do. I feel like when it first started, Finstas were, like, really funny.
Yeah.
But I feel like by the time I started either following Finstas or realizing what it was, they were very... I feel like Finstas are a toxic environment.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of... this may be a misinformed perception, but I feel like the majority of Finstas are negative or are used to kind of let out pent-up emotions that people have inside, which is fine. And also, here's the other thing I'm going to say. It's your social media, so you can do whatever you want with it.
Exactly.
If I don't like it, I don't have to follow you, which is, like, totally true. I don't follow that many Finstas. I think you and 2 other people are the only Finstas I follow.
Yeah.
Just because seeing these people hurt or, like, diss on themselves or just have this negative energy, I feel hurt by it. Not, like, I feel attacked, but, like, I hurt for them, and I have this instinct in me that wants to help and kind of rectify the situation or fix it or kind of help this person with whatever they're going through. And I have found that a lot of the times, either I'm not the right person, or it's just not what these people are looking for. And so I can't follow Finstas anymore because I worry too much about these people and what's going on in their lives, and I want to like fix it or help, and they don't want that from me, or they don't want that in general. And so I just kind of have to accept that hopefully either things will get better on their own, these people will seek help from who they need it from, or the right person will come along and reach out and will kind of help the situation.
Yeah, I feel like that has been reflected in, like, Finstas as well as other social media accounts, because I definitely think, like, in today's day and age, a lot of people are more open about their emotions on social media. And I definitely feel like that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, yeah.
But, like, there are times when, like, I feel like social media is almost like a digital journal. And except everyone can see it. So that's, like, the only place where I'm torn. Like, I love seeing when people are doing well, and, like, it hurts me too when I see people are being sad, and, like, reaching out to people and trying to see, like, if they're okay or not. It does, like, yeah, it does. It affects me, I feel like, as much as it affects them.
Yeah, and I think it's great that people are more open about how they're feeling and what their emotions are, and I think just in general being more sensitive to how our decisions affect other people. I think that's great. I think it's a great movement, and I think it's going to end up helping a lot of people.
Definitely.
I feel like the next step is now not just expressing our feelings and our emotions, but kind of taking ownership of them, I guess, and being, I don't know if self-aware is the right word, but either proactive enough or responsible enough to kind of realize, okay, I have this problem, I've gotten it off my chest, I've vented, I've let people know how I feel. I don't want to feel this way anymore. So what avenues can I explore to kind of help alleviate this feeling? Or help fix whatever is making me feel this way?
I think that, that's a really good idea, and I think that's a really good plan in general, and I feel like it's the same way when people are feeling good. It's like, okay, I feel good, and, like, I've been confident enough to, like, let people know, and, like, what am I doing now that I can keep doing just to remain, like, to stay happy, to stay content, like, yeah, I feel like that does work both ways.
And I feel like maybe, like, the happy medium between this is not acting like our lives. I think what would help alleviate this is not having two versions of our lives.
Yeah.
Having one version of our lives where everything is picture perfect.
Exactly.
Literally. And then having another version of our lives that is the more raw version, the more real version, but is also a lot more emotionally heavy and tends to lean to the more negative side. I think a happier medium would be to have our real Instagrams be our real Instagrams, you know?
Yeah.
Post those pictures of your friends, of your family, of your dog, of your food, those things that make you happy, but also don't be afraid to post that selfie that maybe you don't think has the perfect angle and the perfect lighting just because you don't think you look the best or you're scared of what people will say.
Exactly.
I don't know. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I feel like just with everything coming up, especially with Instagram, as you were saying, like, picture perfect, I feel like that's a lot of the time how people brand themselves on social media. Like, I feel like there are, like, a lot of, like, air quotes around brands about, like, social media. Like, you have, like keeping an aesthetic. Like, you gotta keep that theme. Some people are just, like, very real about it. Like, I know it's been kind of trendy, especially with, like, Emma Chamberlain and other YouTubers coming up, like, to just be honest. And, like, even if the quality isn't the best, like, the quality isn't the best, and, like, that's just how you roll. And I feel like a lot of people are, like, just making themselves known in, like, what am I trying to say, like, specific ways.
Oh, like, everyone has their own personal brand now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think that this is like a whole nother thing, but I think that that point or that observation that people have like their own personal brands now kind of goes hand in hand with a conversation we were having earlier about how I have noticed, or I feel like the age to achieve something great keeps getting younger and younger.
Yeah.
But that's like a whole nother thing we can talk about another day, or we could talk about it right now if you like.
Yeah, actually, I mean, with social media, I feel like that's one of the biggest boosters. Like, that's how these kids and how these teenagers are being able to get such an audience and to get such a platform to be able to broadcast onto.
And, I mean, just so many things are digital now. So
exactly.
It's, like, social media is an easy way to get those brand deals and get money and et cetera and et cetera.
Definitely. And I feel like it's in every single category. Like, music, we've got people like Billie Eilish. She's 16. I'm pretty sure she's 16 or 17. And, like, the amount of, like, music she's produced and, like, the things that she's been doing over, like, the past year is insane. The same thing with YouTubers. These YouTubers keep getting younger and younger. Some of them are even dropping out of school just to keep doing YouTube. Ariana rolls her eyes in the background.
Okay. YouTube is a social media, so we're staying on topic here.
Yeah.
Listen. I do not have a successful YouTube channel, so I don't know. And I also grew up feeling like academics was my world. I will be honest. Listen, I've gone through a journey. We're not going to get into all that, but I just want to give some background on where I stand on education because I feel like it affects how you feel about this. So, number one, I feel like I used to put academics at the forefront of everything. Yeah. I don't really do that as much now, but I did. That's where I come from. Two, I feel like education is shit on a lot. And trust me, by no means do I think the public education system is perfect, but I do think it is a blessing and more people should be grateful that we have such easy access to education. There are kids in third world countries who die to get an education. There are girls in other countries who are not allowed to have an education. So I think when you think about it like that, it kind of puts education more into perspective, I guess. By no means is it perfect. There are a lot of things I would change. However, I am still very appreciative that I have such easy access to education. And then, number three, like I said earlier, I don't have a successful YouTube channel, so I am not in the shoes of these people. Yeah. So, recently, why Grace even brought this up is because we were talking about this earlier because an up-and-coming YouTuber, Antonio Garza, sorry if I mispronounced her name, recently announced that she dropped out of school to take online school. And I sent this to Grace, and we had a whole other conversation about it. But not to sound like a teacher or a principal or whatever, but I feel like being in school can teach you a lot of valuable skills that you miss out on when you take online school. And, like, here's the flip side to that. By taking online school, you can get a job, or you can travel, or you can do all these other things. But, yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. I definitely think that online schooling and, like, going to physical school are two different things. Like, you're getting the benefits out of both. Like, you're still going to get the degree, you're going to get the job, like you were saying. But, yeah, online school, you're missing the experience. But my little devil's advocate comes in, are these kids getting this experience from becoming YouTubers? Like, you know, are they getting that thing that they're missing by, like, being able to, like, be up and coming on social media and just to keep, like, doing what they love? Like, I don't know.
That's true. And, yeah, I mean, it's everyone's personal choice. And I think the other thing that tended to bother me about some of these YouTubers dropping out of school, like, I know Emma Chamberlain and Antonio had the same kind of reasoning of, one, they were up-and-coming YouTubers, and two, school stressed them out a lot and put a lot of pressure on them and stuff. Let me throw Joanna Cedia at you. She's a senior in school, and I think she recently got accepted to a university for a physics program.
Oh, wow.
And she has over 1 million subscribers.
Yeah.
Again, everyone is not the same. School is not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I don't want to say it's taking the easy way out.
Yeah.
Because if it's getting to a point where you're constantly stressed out and you're suffering mentally and physically, obviously it's not a good situation. But I feel like schools provide so many opportunities for you to succeed. Or maybe that's just my perception because we go to such a big school with so many diverse, pathway options. Yeah. But my other thing also is, people have been going to school for decades. Obviously, the education system has changed drastically.
Yeah.
But you see all these efforts to keep students in school. And obviously, if you have an outside blooming career, that's something to consider. I don't know. I feel all types of ways about it. But I just feel like you're not getting the same education you would if you were in school.
Yeah.
As opposed to online school. Because you don't have that, teacher interaction. Like in my Gov class, for instance. Yes, we learn about government and, the history and stuff. But we're also talking about current day politics.
Yeah.
And things that are going on in our world right now. Which you miss out on if you do take online school because it's all automated and digital.
Exactly. I never thought about that before, actually. You're not really talking about the current events. On online school, you're just doing literally automated stuff. Wow. Mind blown.
It's a lot to consider. It's a lot of different factors, and everyone is different.
Yeah.
I guess is the moral of the story. We came to no conclusion.
All right, we'll put that one on the list of things that we did not answer.
But, I mean, okay, here's another thing.
Hit me with it.
I think dialogue without confrontation is important. Obviously, at the end of the day, you're not going to agree with everybody, and you're not going to change everybody's mind on something. A ton of people are going to disagree with me about what I just said. I didn't mean to offend anyone. That's just my personal opinion and how I view the issue right now. But if someone in online school is listening to this and you can tell me about your experience or what it's done for your life or something, I'd be more than happy to listen, because I think we can learn a lot by communicating with other people with an open mind than just shouting at people and saying, this is how it is and this is what I believe and you cannot change my mind on that. I've taken online classes before, but I've never done my education solely online, nor do I have an outside blossoming career, so I don't know what that lifestyle is like. Just from the outside, this is what my perspective and perception has been so far.
And talking about the perception and perspective thing, do you think that, winding this back to social media, that is, overall, do you think users, their perceptions have been closed about certain things, or it's opened people's minds more and, opened them to, the possibilities and the chances?
Ooh, that's a tricky question.
Okay.
Let me tie this to Twitter, a social media platform.
All right. Brownie points.
So, all the platforms are known for something.
Yeah.
And so, I feel like Twitter has become known for unfiltered thoughts.
Definitely.
And beefing with people.
Oh, yeah.
Which is not, I'm not saying it's a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying I feel like that's what it is generally known for and used for.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there are pros and cons to everything. And maybe that's just me because I constantly play devil's advocate with myself. But I feel like the pros of social media has been, one, it is a lot easier to be self-made, which is really awesome because a lot of people who may have previously gone unrecognized are now going mainstream.
True.
Two, I feel like it's done a really good job of connecting people of all different walks of life. I could talk to somebody in Australia right now.
Yeah.
before social media, there would be no way to do that. And 3, I think social media has helped a lot with activism and, in general, having opinions and thoughts and beliefs be heard.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, though, I feel like some parts of the internet are not receiving that well.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there are corners and pockets of the internet filled with people who want to hear about people's ideas,
yeah,
and want to hear about different perspectives than their own. But then I feel like there's a whole nother pocket of social media filled with people who just want their opinion to get through. They just want to be the loudest person in the room so that their opinion is heard, so that their perspective is known, so that everyone can know what they believe, because what they believe is right. So I think it depends on the user.
Definitely. Yeah, I could see that. And it also depends on, like, kind of what they're, like, promoting, or, like, kind of what they're, like, going for in a way, like, just kind of how their opinions are and how they are as a person, too.
That's true, because there are some things that we believe that we're more lenient or bendable on, and other things that we are very adamant about. So I think it just depends on the user, and like you said, the subject. I think overall, I don't know, that's another question. Overall, has social media had a negative or positive impact on our generation?
Yeah, there's a lot about that all over the internet, like how it's made people, like, self-confidence decline, like mental health, like, overall decline, but yet, like, entrepreneurs, boom, skyrocketing, like, people who are being able to create and just kind of broadcast it on there, boom, skyrocketed. Like, I definitely feel like it could be split down the middle.
That's true. I agree completely with what you've said. It's been really beneficial for some people, and I feel like it's been a true detriment to other people.
Yeah.
I'll give an example. I myself have not posted on my Instagram since June.
Mm-hmm.
That was the last time I posted, early June. I've been on Instagram occasionally to like stuff, or just to, like, keep up with my friends' pages, you know. Gotta support.
Yes, exactly.
But I stopped posting because, one, it took an amount of effort that I was not willing to dedicate to it. Because, like we said earlier, you gotta have the perfect picture, you gotta have the perfect caption, like, everything,
you gotta
post at the right time if you want to get optimum likes. And, like, I would be a liar if I told you I didn't care how many likes I get. I look. I mean, it doesn't drive me crazy. But like,
those first 15 minutes of you posting, like, am I gonna delete it? Like, should I keep it up?
Exactly. And, like, that's another thing people do that I didn't know. People will archive their posts because they don't want to see them anymore. But if they have a good enough amount of likes on them, they want to keep it just in case they want to put it back on their page.
Interesting. I haven't actually looked into the archiving on Instagram. Since that, like, update came and they, like, changed a lot of things about it, I haven't really looked into that. But
yeah, so basically if you archive a post, like, it takes it off your page, but it keeps all the comments and likes.
So you can put it back on, like, it'll be in the same order. It won't mess up the order. Oh, interesting.
So, I lost my train. Oh, so I feel like social media, I agree, has affected the way people look at themselves because it is such an altered version.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I think recently people have been more honest about Facetune.
Oh, yeah.
I did not know some people were using Facetune that are using Facetune. And that kind of alters the way that you see yourself.
Yeah.
And, like, it's not good to compare yourself to others, but I think it is a very natural human thing to do. And if you're looking at these altered images of people, it's the same thing about models in magazines. This has been a discussion for decades, and now it's just moved into the digital space.
Exactly.
You look at someone online, oh wow, her legs are a lot skinnier than me, like, she has more hips than me, oh, like, her face has clear skin, like, it affects the way you see yourself because you see all these people with all these perfect images, and you're like, what's wrong with me? When there's nothing wrong with you.
Yeah. I definitely think, as you said, it's been, like, a conversation for decades, and, like, with social media, it's ups and downs, it's pros and cons, positives and negatives. I don't know. I don't know. Half of me thinks it's good. Like, yes, it's good. I mean, we're definitely moving forward in it. I think that it's, like, its early years, like, there were a little bit of flaws, a lot of things that were, like, happening with people. Like, the world was definitely changing, and now I feel like we're moving on to a better path, if that makes sense.
You want to know what I think about that, though?
Yes.
I agree that in the beginning, people were still kind of getting used to it and stuff, but I think we've gotten too used to it.
Okay.
Let me explain.
Yes, please do.
I will go to a restaurant, and I will see a 5-year-old on an iPad.
Yeah.
Or I will go to, like, a mini golf place, and I'll see a kid in a stroller on their mom's phone.
Mm-hmm.
We're starting these kids so early on screens. And an interesting feature that I really like that Apple has come out recently is that, like, you can limit your screen time.
Yeah.
And you can, like, put limits and stuff. And then at the end of the week, it'll send you a screen report. And it'll tell you, A, how much time you spent on your phone, not even counting your laptop or your TV. And B, it'll tell you where you've been spending your time. And this is what I think one of the big issues is. We're living in our phones. We're living in our screens. Instead of going out and actually experiencing something, we're taking photos, we're filming it, we're live streaming, we're taking Snapchats, we're making stories on Instagram, we're making stories on Snapchat,
Yeah.
we're going live on Facebook, we're tweeting about it. And, like, this is a place where I'm torn because I've decided recently to live kind of more in the moment because I found that brings me more personal joy and happiness. But as someone who does create, I struggle with that.
Yeah.
Because I'm missing a great opportunity for content. I'm missing great aestheticism since that's so big now.
Yeah, exactly.
But, like, I don't want to be trapped in my screen. In my, 4x11 screen. And I feel like we're living through people like Emma Chamberlain or the other big YouTubers rather than actually living our lives.
I definitely see that, and I've also had those, like, thoughts too, like, wow, I'm on vacation, should I enjoy it or should I make a video about it? Wow, I am here, should I have a good time with my friends or ask them to take a picture of me by the waterfall? Like, you know, like, it's just stuff like that that's, like, kind of eating away, and especially, like you said, at an early age, and, like, the studies and research with that, like, how really is screen time at such a young age going to affect them once they reach, like, 20? How's it going to reach them once they reach, like, 45? Like, mentally and even, like, physically. Like, I don't know if we've gotten that far yet. Like, if this is, like, still new, still old. Like, I feel like we're just riding in the middle road right now. But, like, the middle road has a little incline, like that a little bit, and we're just going to kind of keep going. I don't know what's in the future, but can't see over that hill.
Yeah, and, like, I hate to sound like a parent right now, and I don't think it necessarily, like, applies to us, and by us, I mean, like, the kids who, like, had social media in middle school. I think that putting kids on screens before elementary school, before middle school, I honestly do think it will affect their social skills.
Yeah.
I think it's affecting our social skills now. I think I'm a well-functioning, well-communicating person, but I also think that, like, we spend all our time texting. We spend all our time subtweeting. We spend all our time being like, should I put an emoji or should I put an emoticon? Should I put a comma or should I put an exclamation point? You know, like, dissecting all of these, like, choices to kind of elicit a response that we want.
Yeah.
Instead of just, again, going back to our conversation earlier, being real and being honest and just talking face-to-face with someone or having a phone conversation. Because, look, whether you like or don't like what I just said, texting someone is completely different than talking to them on the phone. Like, so many things get construed in text. Now, I'm not hating on text. I love texting. I'm a big texter. I'm just saying that I think if kids are learning how to text before they're learning how to have face-to-face conversations, I think that is going to end up being a problem for them in their life.
Yeah. No, definitely. Ooh. that's crazy to think about. Like, some of these kids are just, like, they are stuck to their iPads and stuff. And, like, now that is becoming more of an interactive way to learn, I guess. Like, even, like, when you said that, like, texting before they're able to, like, have a face-to-face conversation, texting, like, learning is using as a way to learn how to read, like, how these kids are formulating sentences and stuff, like, that is crazy. Oh my goodness. Social media, sis.
It's such a big, giant
thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of different aspects to it. And then, like, the other thing that we didn't even get to that I don't think I'm educated enough to talk about is the regulation of social media sites.
Yeah.
How do you decide what content stays up on your site when you're based on the basis of free speech?
Ooh.
How do you keep people safe from cyberbullying? How does cyberbullying affect a kid going through puberty? How does it affect a 12-year-old girl? How does it affect a 12-year-old boy? And then the safety of the internet. Listen, we were all stupid as kids, okay?
True.
How are you going to expect an 11-year-old kid... I know this sounds dumb, but practice internet safety. Like, how are you going to ensure that your kid isn't going to go put their address or their phone number or where they live or their age? Or how do you know that they're talking to, like, people they should be talking to and not random strangers? Obviously, like, in high school, we do tend to talk to people we don't know, and it's a way of expanding our minds and making us more global citizens. But how can you expect an 11-year-old to be able to discern such a tumultuous and quickly changing environment?
Yeah. I think that definitely has a big role in, like, just overall, like, talking about kids and, like, yes, putting out their information and stuff is, like, very scary because that, and now imagine, like, a 5-year-old with an iPad. Like, of course they're little, they don't know what they're doing, but who's to say, like, something won't get put out or, like, something will just go wrong, and that's not good. And especially with the audience, like, there are so many people online and so many people who can see exactly what you're doing, what you're saying, and how you're, like, just going about your daily life. And a lot of things with that is when people post that they're on vacation, that's, like, a big one. And, like, I know I'm guilty of it. Like, that means I'm not home. No one is in my house right now. Like, that's scary because then someone will know you're not home.
Yeah, I'm so guilty of that. And, like, okay, if my parents tell us we're going on vacation, they're like, don't post about it. Don't go around school telling everyone, oh, I'm going on vacation, because they're worried that someone's going to break into our house or rob us or just vandalize our home. What did I do this last time I went on vacation? Airport pictures, pictures of me once I got to my new destination, pictures with my brother, so clearly, like, my family is not home, and, like, that is dangerous, yet all of us do it.
Exactly.
Which is, like, a whole nother aspect of social media. Privacy. Where do you draw the line? And then with these new quote-unquote celebrities of, like, YouTube and Instagram and
all of the above.
TikTok and, yes, all of the above.
Oh, TikTok.
Where do you draw the line of privacy?
Yeah, definitely. And then that can even wrap all the way back around to our Rinstas and Instas with the privacy. How much privacy are you spitting out on your Finsta? How much privacy are you spitting out on your Insta? Like, it's just...
Exactly. Which is another thing I'd like to comment on. If you're not willing to let everyone who's following your quote-unquote real Instagram follow your fake Instagram, why are those people following your Instagram in the first place? If you don't want them seeing all the aspects of your life, or you don't feel comfortable letting the public see all aspects of your life, one, why are you putting that out online? And two, why are you letting these people that you don't feel safe around or completely trust follow you?
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that definitely. And then, I'm going to throw it back around again. I'm going to put a Uno reverse card on this. Safety, privacy settings, kids, information, privacy. There's a lot of location things now. I know Snapchat Maps.
Ooh, girl.
Who's to say that, like, some kids playing on the iPad and, like, you can see the location, and, like, a lot of people do have their location on, because I know I had to personally go in there and turn it off. I think the default is that it is on. So, when I had it on, all of the people on Snapchat I had could see where I was at every moment.
Since you brought this up, we might be on the same page. We've actually never talked about this before.
Oh, she clapped her hands.
Snap Maps. And then I think there's also, like, Find My Friends on iPhone or whatever.
Yeah.
Listen.
Oh.
Do whatever you want to do with your life. That's fine. It's your life.
Yeah.
And maybe someone can enlighten me as to why you choose to put your location out at all times.
Mm-hmm.
One, I feel like that's so not safe. But I guess if it's Snapchat, it's not super public, you know, because less people follow your Snapchat. It's more like you have to know their username or know their snap code or whatever. But I personally, I also went into my settings and turned it off and have never turned it on. Never shared my location with anybody unless, like, I was sending them an address to get to a place. Yeah. I don't want people to know where I am 24/7. I think that's weird. I think that's creepy. I think it's an invasion of privacy, and I don't see why it is at all necessary. If we're not tight enough for you to actually know where I am, I don't want you going through the hassle to look it up.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't know where I live, you now know my address.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not just, like, a general map of, like, states and stuff.
Yeah.
You can zoom in and see street names and houses and stuff. And I think that is way too much detail.
Yeah. I feel that definitely. And thinking about it now, like, I do think that I honestly don't know why Snapchat came up with it. Like, I guess, like, you can snap pictures in different locations. And they do have a lot of, like, local stories that you can watch. Like, you can watch stories from around the country.
That's true.
And I do think that's a part of why it put out. But I would say I'm kind of on the same page. Like, I would share my location with a few of my friends just in case, like, something, like, I don't want to put this out there, but if something were to happen, like, I would want to... Thank you. She knocked on the wood for me. Like, if something were to happen to me and, like, I couldn't contact anyone and people would be like, oh, this is kind of weird. Why isn't she, like, calling me or texting me or whatever? Like, they'd be able to see where I am.
I feel like that's different.
Yeah.
Because you're specifically letting someone know, I'm going to this location with this situation. I feel like maybe this is something I'm not totally comfortable with, so I want you to know where I am. On Snap Maps, it's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people see your location at all times, and just by looking at your location, I can't be like, oh, Grace might need help right now.
Yeah, true,
like, it's just like, this is where I am. Like,
yeah, no, I think, yeah, I see where you're coming from, and, like, yeah, I just kind of question as to why Snapchat put that out. Like, I get the local stories thing, but, like, being able to see user locations and stuff, and that makes me, like, think, like, why doesn't, like, Instagram have that, or, like...
That's true, they copy each other a lot. No tea, no shade,
yeah,
I'm just saying facts.
No, yeah, that too, when it came down with the name tag versus snap code, and, like, the stories and everything.
But, like, maybe Instagram doesn't have that feature, because, personally, like, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of random people follow me.
Yeah, no,
I'm
definitely.
private, but a lot of people follow me that I don't necessarily know that well. So maybe Instagram acknowledges that that's part of its platform, and there's no way to regulate who sees your location.
Yeah, and and thinking back to that, like, having Snapchat be more personal, I think that is true. I know a lot of people who do have, like, a lot of users on Snapchat, but I think most people tend to keep it private, or they start their own private story.
True.
Which could be a parallel to the Rinstas and Instas thing. I think
it is.
You think it is?
I think private Snapchat stories are more fun than Finstas, but I think there is a duality to Snapchat stories where you have the really fun sides, but then people aren't afraid to post the, like, heavier, deep stuff as well.
Okay, I get that. And I definitely think the difference between stories on Snapchat and stories on Instagram is, like, maybe not even stories, but, like, posting on Snapchat and posting on Instagram. Posting on Snapchat, you can't, there's like no comment section, there's like no like section.
And
like,
it's temporary.
Yeah,
That's my whole
exactly.
thing. I haven't posted on my Instagram since June, but I've been posting on my Snapchat story.
Yeah.
Just because it's temporary, it doesn't last, like, it goes away, it's not as formal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. I kind of forgot that that's only for 24 hours.
Yeah, I really have to go to the bathroom because I didn't listen to Grace's advice about using the bathroom before we started this.
Hair flip.
And I feel like we've kind of been going on for a while. We've been talking about a lot of different topics. So,
Yeah.
Are you ready to sign off, Grace?
All right, it has been fun. We talked about social media, all that jazz. Ooh. All right.
If you guys have an idea for a name for us, or you have a topic that you want us to cover next week,
Yes.
question mark.
We are nameless and topicless, so please come to our rescue.
Yeah, so thanks for coming to our Nameless podcast. I'm Ariana Kanaya.
And I'm Grace Pankowski.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.